Before I get into the video, let me lead with a question. Do you guys think that people on the far left, not just liberals, but people on the progressive left, do they value and care about intellectual diversity, freedom of thought? And going off on this, they always preach about diversity, but do they care about diversity when the person doesn't fit their narrative, doesn't fit into the box that they want to assign the person into because of their diversity? I originally wasn't going to get involved in the Kanye story because it kind of balanced itself out. Kanye tweeted praise for Candace Owens and Donald Trump, causing the left to panic. But then, just as the far right were ready to welcome him as their dragon brother, he tweeted praise for Emma Gonzalez. She's one of the Parkland student activists who, to say the very least, isn't too fancy about guns. Great, I don't have to cover this. It balanced itself out. Kanye endorses people that he likes regardless of what side of the political spectrum they fall on, and in doing so, epitomizes what a free thinker is. That is, until news outlets started questioning whether or not Kanye should have a platform for his free thoughts. CNN put out an article titled, "We need to stop giving Kanye a platform to lie." The Root put out an article titled, "Free thought is for white people." Now yes, Kanye made a mistake when he said,
"We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from the 400 years of slavery that you said for our people was a choice." Frankly, I'm disappointed, I'm appalled, and brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something, to me, that's not real.
That was a bad way to say something, and he did not articulate a salient point. In all fairness, that's what these articles were referencing. However, what's lost here is the overarching idea of free thought. CNN even admitted Kanye was referencing this idea when he made the unfortunate quote.
Here's what he said. He said, "To make myself clear, of course I know that slaves did not get shackled and put on a boat by free will. My point is for us to have stayed in that position, even though the numbers were on our side, means that we were mentally enslaved." And then he added that the reason why I brought up the 400 years point is because we can't be mentally imprisoned for another 400 years. We need free thought now. Even the statement was an example of free thought. It was just an idea.
Kanye is certainly right here. We can't let the past dictate the future. No one should be a mental slave. We should all, regardless of our background, strive to be a critical and free thinker. So it's to my surprise that some people don't support this notion because they believe that the past, as awful and hideous as it may be, still shackles our ability to think for ourselves. From the Root, Kanye and conservatives have embraced the term free thought as a way to explain that black people aren't required to all think alike, that blackness is not bound by the Democratic Party, progressivism, and perpetual victimhood. Kanye and his conservative Klansmen contend that unless black people dispossess themselves from the insipid Negro hive mind, we will never be free. Okay, I don't think the notion that not all black people have to think alike or fit a narrative is that radical of an idea. Certainly not one to garnish the believer the label of Klansman. Besides, Kanye's not even the only black guy that agrees with this. The article states that Kanye is able to escape the realities of being black because of his white wife and his bank account. It's saying that now that Kanye has privilege like other white people, he can engage in free thought, in white thought. Conservative blowhards are quick to tell black people that slavery was something a few white men did centuries ago. Then, with the same lipless mouths, was that a racial insult? They advocate for gun rights, Confederate monuments, and Christian ideals based on some shit a few white men did centuries ago. First of all, the Second Amendment, gun rights, is not just a white thing because the founding fathers wrote it. They just happen to be the first people ever to say, screw you to a monarchy, screw you to a government, and believe that, as a general rule, people should be as powerful as the government they live under. Also, Christian ideals started by a few white men? More like one Middle Eastern Jewish guy about, 2,000 years ago? Thanks, JC. The most racist part in all this discussion is conservatives' assumption that most black people are feeble-minded lemmings whose dunderheaded thoughts must be the result of low IQ and brainwashing because, according to their logic, conservative white people know best. Apparently, They believe that all the idling Negro minds put together don't equate to one brain cell of a free thinker like Donald Trump. Wait a minute. You just criticized conservatives for believing that black people are capable-minded individuals of thinking critically and freely and going against the herd, but now you're saying that conservatives believe all black people are part of some feeble-minded herd? Which is it? The ironic part of the whole article is that while the author talks about Kanye's disconnect from black reality, he's praising his daughter for being engaged in a variety of white things. Anytime she sees a person doing something interesting, she figures she can too. Which means I've spent time taking her to do a lot of white things, including Pokemon competitions, comic book stores, graffiti lessons, chess tournaments, ultimate frisbee games, hiking, rock climbing, and lacrosse leagues. Listen, I'm not proud that white people are overrepresented in Pokemon card tournaments either. Yu-Gi-Oh! For life! But it looks to me like your daughter doesn't see the world through that lens of oppression. She doesn't even consider her blackness when attending a Pokemon card tournament full of white people. Seems to me like she's a free thinker. In trying to convince us that Kanye shouldn't have a platform, they've proven that he needs one now more than ever. To me, the people who have the biggest problem with free thought are often the ones most trapped by the narrative and the thoughts of others. So Kanye doesn't fit the cookie cutter mold that the left puts him into and is a free thinker. Perhaps people are really scared because he's speaking a little bit of truth. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know down below what you guys think of this Kanye controversy. And if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe. Also, follow me on Twitter where you can suggest content you'd like to see. Until next time.